let's talk a little bit about the effects on this tune because they're kind of essential for the song. As you can see, I've got reverb going, I've got delay, a little bit of overdrive just for some grit. Possibly the most important thing is that he's got a deep tremolo going here. I've got the Keeley mod on this tremolo. This is pretty deep and pretty fast. So these are the settings I'm using that are pretty close to what he's doing. He's got a pretty fast slap. As you can see, I've got that on the fastest setting there. This is set about 3 o'clock. A lot of feedback and level on that. And then here I'm just using reverb because my amp, which is a Fender Tone Master, does not have reverb on it. My right hand holds sea of stinking whiskey. We'll do that part next week. Here's what's happening in Loaded Gun. It's really a pretty basic song. It's a cool vibe, but it's really simple. The only chords in the whole song are E minor, A minor, and B dominant 7. Now he plays with those and adds some different notes in there. For example, sometimes that B actually adds an 11, which is just the open E up there. I'll point that out when we get to it. But most of the song is just spent, you know, playing this bluesy kind of bass line sort of thing. And for that lick, he starts on this D on the 2nd string, slides to the E on the 5th fret, but the whole time he's playing that open E. It's also worth mentioning that a lot of what he's doing to get that twang is playing ponticello, which means right down by the bridge. Not here, but here. Hear the difference? So anyway, a lot of those licks that he's doing in there are probably different every time, although I think he plays this one pretty regularly there. So let me play through the progression for you. It goes E, A, these are minor, E, that lick, E minor, A, minor, B7, and that time the B7 has the F sharp up high. Just lets it fade, and then it's back to E minor, A minor, E minor, and the lick. And that is a B flat. So he goes, just climbs up B flat to B. walks up that chord. It's the B7 this time, but no pinky. It's an open E. Here he switches to playing just a power chord. And that walk is just E, 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 G, G sharp, and then he lands on an A. And on the recording, he kind of keeps going with the for a moment, but eventually he pretty quickly settles into just strumming that A minor chord. And it goes, then A minor with G in the bass. You just lay your pinky on the G. Don't worry if it mutes your 5th string. E minor. And that's on the family. Now right there he plays a lick. And knowing the rev, it's probably a little different every time, but on the recording it goes. So you're going to keep your middle finger on the G string the whole time and slide up from A to B, then play that high G, and it helps to pluck it with your right middle finger. Slide back to a B flat, then you're going to play A and F sharp here, and just pull off to an essentially an open E minor. Then he kind of strums the E minor and he plays this lick that goes. And that's just sliding into an E with your open E. And then sliding from a B, a fretted B and an open B, from B, A, G. Right back to that A minor with G in the bass. But this time instead of going to E minor, he goes to that B7. And he probably picks them with his right fingers. Now that's all B7. If you look at it, this is B7. And this would be B7. It's just that he's only playing these 2 notes. F sharp and A. So. And when he slides, he's sliding with his ring finger from an E up to an F sharp, and then holding that A. Slowed down a little there, so it should really be. Just lets it ring. Then he's back to essentially the verse. But I drown it in a sea of stinking whiskey. And the lick. Just one time that time. B flat, B. And again, that's that B7 with the added 11. You've got the open E. A loaded gun. And then he goes into the solo. What happens there is he's just kind of riding on that E minor. Then he plays a variation of that same lick. And goes back to B7. We'll do the solo next time.